Morgan, you like gossip, right?
I love gossip.
How about some NBA gossip?
Oh, my two worlds colliding.
I just, did you say colliding?
Colliding.
It sounded funny. So I'm going to just put a disclaimer on this.
What?
This is not like Mark Stein's reporting this, Sam A. McWode, Shams, all the heavy hitters around the league.
Okay.
This is like kind of off-season. We're just having fun with this here. Like, I'm not putting much stock in it,
That's
any of this, but this is like bottom barrel stuff.
I love bottom barrel stuff.
This is like DMZ.
Give me the
This
trash.
is like, I don't know if it's real or not.
Give me the trash.
So I saw this the other day. The Kings are favorites to land Jonas Valanciunas, according to Bovada.
Oh.
Bovada, the online sports gambling site, has them as the odds-on favorite. It's been reported that the Pelicans don't plan to sign Valanciunas because they want some more spacing and athleticism around Zion Williamson going forward. They got a big offseason ahead. I'm struggling with this. I love Jonas Valanciunas.
Hell
I
yeah.
have heard nothing but great things about him as a person
Yes.
in the locker room. He is like the greatest guy ever. Cool.
So what's your deal, man?
So, one, if you get Valanciunas in Sacramento, is he backing up Sabonis? Because if you're telling me that you want to start a front line of Sabonis and Valanciunas, that's concerning. Not from a toughness standpoint. They'll get all the rebounds ever. But it comes down to a couple of things. Wow. How are those going to defend against some really athletic lineups you see in the league? How are they going to move? Okay. And then in addition to that, what's it going to look like from a spacing perspective offensively? Valanciunas, I know Kings fans have seen him play and go, well, he can hit the mid-range. He can hit the mid-range.
He can.
But he's not a three-point shooter. Took just over one a game last year at a 30% clip. He's not a three-point shooter. And Sabonis, I know he was like 40% from three, but if you only take like one-ish a game, I'm not buying that. So I just don't see the fit. I love Valanciunas, but I go for him. You're going to pay him a decent amount of money, probably the mid-level, like $12 million. I just don't see them starting together, even though they've got chemistry from the Lithuanian national team.
So he played 82 games.
It's tough, dude.
Like,
love the guy.
I love that too, right? So, okay. I'm so with you, but let's just play in this world for a second. Remember that time when the T-Wolves, they made a trade for Rudy Gobert to be a part of their squad? We laughed in their face and said, two bigs, you morons. How's that going to work? The NBA is trending in the other direction. Now, wait, hold on. Because I know that there's obviously going to be easy pushback there. And they have found ways for it to work and to see a lot of success out of it. Now, where the pushback is going to come, Domas and Valanciunas, neither one of them are cat. Neither one of them have the ability
Valanciunas ain't Gobert either.
And he's not Gobert either.
Okay.
I get that. But at the same time, I go, is there a world where you could even imagine that? Because if that world doesn't exist, then no.
Here's the world.
Then Valanciunas is not coming off the bench with the Sacramento Kings.
Here's the world.
What's the world?
Sabonis comes out next year taking 5 threes a game and is shooting 37, 38%. My point is, Sabonis all of a sudden becomes a three-point shooter.
Love this world.
One, that's just I'm just not betting on that.
Right.
I'm not betting that next year
Don't bet
Sabonis,
on
a
it.
guy who has passed up mid-range shots throughout his time in Sacramento and some threes, is all of a sudden going to start letting it rain from three
Stretching
like
the
he's
floor.
marketing.
But hey, he can put the ball on the floor too.
Sure.
You know, give me a little.
I
shimmy.
want personally, that would be my challenge to Sabonis' offseason. You know, of course, he's really wondering what Deuce Mason is challenging him on. But like, hey, Sabonis, I need you to be in the gym. And I know a couple of years ago it was with Lethal Shooter. I don't care who you're working with. I need you to have the confidence to shoot 4 threes a game and knock them down, because that would change everything. It's not crazy to suggest that bigs who have not shot threes in the past can shoot them. Brooke Lopez is the best example of this in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
But can Sabonis do that? That's where you go, okay, from an offensive standpoint, you see it working. I just think defensively, that's tough.
You're putting
that's
Sabonis on a 4 that's stretching the floor. And on top of that, I mean, he's one of the best rebounders in the league. So taking him away from the basket, too, to finish off a defensive possession with the defensive defensive rebound.
And this is always going to be the talking point when it comes to Sabonis, is like finding the right guy to put next to him. So I'm sorry, I'm out on that. I just don't, unless Sabonis does the unthinkable.
Don't you love that kind of dream world, though?
I love Valanciunas. Yeah. So I love him. Great player, but I just don't, and I don't see him backing up.
Great guy.
I think he could go start. I still think he could start in this league, or play a role where he's playing significant minutes.
Yes,
as a backup.
Exactly. No, and that's why this scenario is probably not going to work.
All right, this next one. This is not Bovada. This is from someone who does content in Cleveland. I'm not familiar with him, so he may be awesome.
Okay,
I don't know. But this is one of those like vague reporting things where his name is Evan Damerol, I believe.
Okay.
He is suggesting that Jarrett Allen could be on the way out. He's 2 years, $40 million left with the Cavs. He makes $20 million a year. And if Donovan Mitchell, there's so many questions with the Cavs, right? Like Donovan Mitchell's future. Is he going to get an extension? Will they keep him and Garland? That seems like it could be broken up. And then what's it mean for Jarrett Allen? You know, the Evan Mobley situation, all that. In his reporting, he suggested that someone he talked to says that the Kings could have interest. Okay, again, what does this mean? Probably not much, but again, it's another example of like the Kings being tied to size.
Yeah.
Jarrett Allen is interesting, right? Because he is a legit vertical threat, lob threat. He's a rim protector. But I think it goes into the same thing, and this is where I struggle with, is finding the right piece that goes next to Sabonis. Remember, Sabonis played next to Miles Turner. And a lot of people are like, that never worked. Well, that team won like 48 games multiple times, I believe, with that group. Like, I think it did work in some ways. They weren't a championship team, but they won a lot of games. This one's kind of tough to envision, too, because I'm like, again, it comes down to, can Sabonis space the floor? I do. If I were to choose, like, if you were to make me choose, like, hey, Sabonis is spacing the floor now. Who do you want him to play with, Valanciunas or Jarrett Allen? I'm picking Jarrett Allen.
Why?
Because legit shot blocker, rim protector, moves pretty well.
I know, and I love Jarrett Allen.
But he took 6 threes the entire season last year with Cleveland.
Okay, so that, and obviously, I think last year, okay, he played 77 games last year, and I say that because throughout his career, obviously, we have seen health. The years before that, 68 and 56, just to give you an idea of like where he's at. So it's tough, even when you look at that number, Deuce, because I do get scared when you have some guy that you're going to like have out there as someone that you're going to utilize a lot, but then and become part of your identity as a team, but then you're not capable of using him because he has the health.
Yeah, and he was out in the playoffs against.
Thank you. I'm like trying to get that out of my mouth, but I can't. So yeah, I don't know, but I love Jarrett Allen. So,
but like, again, it's just the fit next to Sabonis makes it.
Well,
clunky.
you keep talking about the fit. Like, what player in this league right now would you be like, I want him next to Sabonis? Anyone you want.
Well, there's a lot. I'm not going to say anyone I want. I'm being realistic about it, but like,
yeah, no, don't even be realistic.
No, I'm being realistic. Okay. Jeremy Grant. That's a guy, but his contract just goes.
So you want
Jeremy Grant? I want more. Here's what I want.
Sabonis to play a center.
I want Sabonis to be at center, and I want someone at the 4 who is athletic, long, can play defense, and still score.
Oh, and all the things I know.
Am I asking for too much?
I know, and that's why I'm asking. I'm just asking because I go like it's like, what do you want? You know, and I think sometimes too, I get worried about when people go, "Oh, what pieces can we build with this?" And I'm always like, in Sacramento, just get all the pieces, get all the best pieces, and then make it work and or trade pieces.
Here's the one thing I would say too: the Kings found a way to win 46 games in a really, really tough Western Conference where they threw games away.
Yes.
Just mind-numbing losses. And they did it, in my opinion, with Harrison Barnes at the 4, who's just not a good defender. He's just not. It just doesn't move well. He's not big enough. They were able to be a competent defensive team late in the year, and Harrison Barnes was starting at the 4.
Yeah.
So to me, if there is a slight upgrade there, I think it could be a world of difference for the Kings for Sabonis. It would just make things so much better for the Kings. Would it turn them into a championship contender? No, I think they need De'Aaron Fox to be consistently great, all NBA level, Sabonis to be awesome, and they would need Keegan Murray to take a jump.
So you need a backup center and not a starting center.
I don't even know if you need a backup center. I like Alex Len. I do.
Well,
Alex
same
Len's
here.
good enough.
As long as
I think Alex Len's good enough.
Okay.
And if you want to go with someone younger too, like I still, hindsight's 2020. It's like I think they should have just kept Kata. Like that would have made more sense than JaVale McGee last year. So anyway, those were just two names thrown out there. I think I'm out on trying to pair a center like that. Now, if you could find a way to trade for Anthony Davis, that would be a great fit, but that's not realistic.
It's not realistic. And I mean, you want to talk,
I don't care. You're gonna. He's fragile. Hey, is he playing games in the playoffs?
And he stayed mostly healthy last year.
He did.
So yeah,
it's not gonna happen. Let us know in the comments below. How do you feel about some of these two names? What do you think the Kings should do? Like, do they find that 4 next to Sabonis? Who are some names? Or are you crazy and going, put Jarrett Allen next to him? I dare you.
What's your irrational dream world? Tell us that too.
Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The